Restorative charting is located in the Dental tab of the patient's ability. In older versions of MacPractice, you can get to charting by clicking the tooth icon in the upper left of the incident sidebar in the ledger, which is located right here. First, let's take a look at a couple of settings or preferences. For your convenience, dental preferences have been moved out of the preferences and into the ability itself. You can access these by clicking the gear icon in the upper right of the chart. First of all, I recommend leaving these first three options checked. This way, even if you want to visually see material colors on the tooth, there will still be an outline of the color corresponding to whether the work done is existing, completed in office, or treatment planning. I also recommend checking the box to color code the items in the procedure summary table. I recommend leaving the top option here, only show charting for current incident, unchecked, and the last one, to draw a red X on an extracted tooth, checked. Ultimately, all these preferences are up to you. These two in the middle here will definitely vary per office, whether or not you want to see the incisal view and whether or not you want to show material colors. We'll talk a little bit more about this one later. Primary and permanent teeth are also set here in the preferences area. If the date of birth for the patient is entered right away before the patient record is saved for the first time, then the teeth will automatically set to primary or permanent based on the patient's age. If the patient is 13 or younger, they will have primary teeth. Older, they will have permanent teeth. If the front desk or whoever is adding the patient record does not put in the date of birth right away, then MacPractice will not automatically default the teeth based on age, but you can always quickly change it here in your preferences of the patient's chart. So we'll simply click to set all teeth to primary, for instance, or if they're primary and this is an adult, we can go back in here and we can set all teeth to permanent. Just like everywhere else in MacPractice, we're going to be working mainly from top to bottom and left to right. So again, we're making sure we're in the patient's ability in the dental tab. We have our patient selected that we want to work on. Next thing we're going to look at is the incident sidebar over here. And it's very, very important to make sure that you are selected in the correct area here in this incident sidebar before you start doing your charting. There are three areas in MacPractice in which you can chart. One is the patient's chart. Another is completed procedures. And finally, we have the new treatment plan. If the patient chart is highlighted when you do your charting, this will chart the work that you do here as pre-existing or conditions of the teeth. If I have completed procedures highlighted and I do my charting in here, this charting is charting that's done in the office, that you are doing or have done in office. This charting will correspond to the ledger and will add to the patient's balance. And then finally, if I have a treatment plan selected as I'm charting, this work will go in as planned or proposed work, but not as completed work. So there will be a corresponding ledger for this, for treatment planning, for printing out treatment plans and predeterminations, but this will not add up to the patient's balance. Only charting in the completed procedures will add to what the patient owes or what insurance owes. So to summarize, a quick and easy way to think about this is patient chart is past, completed procedures is present, and treatment planning is future. To chart, we'll simply click on the appropriate area and then highlight the tooth that we are charting on and do a right click to bring up the charting menu. For instance, let's say that this tooth is missing. We'll go ahead and click the toggle missing button. If that was a mistake, I can always click it again and bring the tooth back. Let's say the patient already has a crown on this tooth. I'll come in here and put a crown. Now I'm ready to go into my completed procedures once I've charted all existing work. And now I can chart the work done in office. For bridges, you will have to click and drag and select multiple teeth, and then do your right-click menu. I'll go to Bridge, and here I can highlight the individual teeth and select over on the right-hand side here whether they are retainer, pontic, or we're skipping that tooth. I'll hit OK once I'm done, and that will chart that bridge for me. Now, as you can see, right now we are showing material colors. So the gold here on this crown is because this is a resin-based crown, and my color for resin-based crowns is gold. It's outlined in blue because pre-existing work is going to be blue. As you can see down below in the procedure summary table, the color coding applies here as well. Coming over to the bridge I just did, again, the purple is going to be that material color, and the outline of the green means that this is a completed procedure or a procedure done in-house. Watch what happens if I choose to hide the material colors. I'll do a quick refresh here, and as you can see, those material colors are hidden, and now the charting is only color coordinated based on whether it is pre-existing, completed in-house, or treatment planned. So anything pre-existing is going to be just entirely blue, and because this is done in-house, these are green. Some offices find this easier to see. Other offices do prefer to see their material colors. So this is up to you. Finally, for treatment planning, I may choose to rename my treatment plan to easily show what it is. And if the patient has multiple options for their treatment planning, I'll simply click up here on the treatment plan folder and click New Treatment Plan. And that will give me 2 treatment plans here. So crown and bridge, option 1, option 2, and then I can choose which treatment plan that I am charting in. I'll go ahead and use my right-click menu and put in my crown here. And as you can see, this is going to be red because this is planned or future work that has not actually been done yet. I can come here to my bridge and then chart that as well. As you can see, whenever I have a tooth selected, it's going to be highlighted in this pale blue color. And then down below in the procedure summary table, anything having to do with this tooth is going to be listed. Watch what happens if I click on tooth number 17. Only those options here are listed. If I click off to the side here and don't have any tooth selected, you'll see in my procedure summary table, I have everything that was charted. These tabs here up at the top of the procedure summary table will determine what is displayed down below. So not only what tooth I have selected, but whatever is highlighted here. So for instance, if I want to not see my treatment planning, I'll just simply deselect the planned work. Now in my procedure summary table, all I can see listed are these green and blue ones, meaning work completed in office or already pre-existing. You'll see that all of my teeth currently have a black box around the white letters. This is because there is a DR image for each of these teeth. If there was none, it would simply have the tooth number in black font. If I click on the next second tab here in my summary table, I can see all of my x-rays. If I have a particular tooth highlighted, it's only going to show me x-rays pertaining to that tooth. Also in the procedure summary table, for everything that you chart, you do have the option of adding an additional clinical note. Keep in mind that if anybody deletes this procedure, the note will be deleted along with it. If I choose to lock my note, then only this user who is currently logged in can unlock that note. If I double-click on the clinical note, it will open it up in a pop-up screen and allow me to see any changes made to this note and the date, time, and user who made the change. You can also add clinical notes by themselves and separate from procedures. To do so, just click the plus button to the top right of the procedure summary table. From there, you will be able to add a clinical note. These two clinical notes that I just added are in my treatment planning, and they correspond to tooth number 17 because those are the areas that I have selected. If I want to type in a clinical note for today's work, I'll simply select completed procedures. I can select my tooth number if I want to, or I can just have malpractice not associated to any tooth by clicking off to the side. I'll click the plus button and I'll type in my clinical note. In addition to using the right-click menu in charting, there are also charting shortcut buttons over to the left. These are a faster way for charting. If you simply click and highlight your tooth, you can click on any of these shortcut buttons, the crown for instance, and that will chart a crown for you. Currently, we have this crown saved as a resin-based, but if there's some other type of crown that you do more frequently in your office, you can hold down the Option key and click on this crown to change the code. If you don't do crowns in your office, you can simply hit the X button to get rid of this shortcut. You can also create your own shortcuts with your own clip art images or images found online by clicking on the ellipsis button here. Click on the icon image to add your own image, and choose a fee, tooth condition, or supercode from your fee schedule. Supercodes are another way of having a shortcut with your charting. These are going to be a group of codes that you would do all together, such as an adult or child prophy. These are created in the references ability of malpractice. Underneath supercode. When charting, you can use the All menu to find these supercodes and chart them. Or you can create a keyboard or a charting shortcut for your supercodes. Remember, if you're going to chart something that is not specific to a certain tooth, you'll want to make sure you don't have a tooth selected. When I use my right-click menu with no tooth selected, you'll see that many of these areas are grayed out. The one area I can do is going to be my exam and radiology, or I can simply choose from all of my fees. You can use the search bar up here to narrow down the options.